Alright, so here's an hour of soloing the Twin Furies using tier 80 power armor. That's the Anima of Zero's chest plate and plate legs. I am doing this with tier 90 Drygores. I've tried this with tier 80 two-handers. It really is a two-hander fight, but the tier 80s just don't have the accuracy to really be efficient here. So I'd say if you're going to use two-handers, then use at least a Dragon Rider lance if you don't have access to a scythe. If not, stick with the Drygores. They're relatively cheap. Tier 85 weapons from the Furies are probably your next option if you don't have the lance. So you're going to want to get to Nerda Bank, which is where I'm at now. You're going to get your bonfire boost using the best logs available. You can get here with a desert amulet, or you can use the carpets like I just did with the Slayer ring. You're going to want to use probably the best beast of burden you can use. So either a yak or at least a tortoise. I'd say you can't really do it with the terror bird without restocking, and that's going to cut into your kill time. So I am bringing also an enhanced Excalibur for healing and a shield switch for resonance, which I use in a specific way. But it's kind of optional. You don't need to bring it. An hour worth of overloads, an hour worth of prayer renewal flasks, and a mixture of brews and rocktails, as well as restores from my prayer. So I actually have the kill count needed to enter without getting kill count first, but once you get down here, you'll have to head to the Zamorak quarter. If you get a bounty, it'll increase your reputation with any of the other factions that you get, as long as they assign you Zamorak as your bounty. So once you go down into the zone for the Gobblers dungeon, you'll go to the Zamorak quarter. You'll have to kill 40 minions of Zamorak, and the multiplier stacks up. So it's really not too bad. It doesn't take too long. I just happen to have it already, so I'm gonna go straight to the portal, and yep, that's it. We'll take a look at an hour worth of kills, the loot I get afterward, and I'll go through at least one kill and get the strategy down on how to do it. So here we go. Alright, so when you get down here, you're going to make sure that you have your quick prayer set up for Soul Split and for Turmoil. You're going to want to make sure you use your Overload, and you're going to make sure you use your Aura. For Auras, I use Vampirism for these kills. You can just as easily use Penance. If you use Penance, you're going to have to bring more Brews, and if you bring Vampirism, you have to bring more Restores, respectively. So you'll enter the instance and pop your prayers. Once you do this, you'll have one ability worth of time before the first mechanic kicks in. So if you have a two-hander, you want to use Cleave now. If you have one-handers, you'll probably want to use Bleed. I just use a regular auto attack. And the first mechanic is the Grey Fury will jump in a straight line to the wall across or behind you, and then he charges in a straight line at you. And if you're anywhere in this line, he picks you up and he slams you into the wall that he's charging at for loads of damage. So in order to mitigate this, you just have to take one step left or right out of the path, and it's completely avoidable. It doesn't hit you. I do two squares just because I've seen it lag out or glitch out, and if I'm one away, it'll still pick me up and slam me into the wall. For good measure, I'd say just go ahead and click 2. You don't lose out on that much DPS. Now, after the fourth charge, I'll always do 4 charges. They'll meet in the middle, and you want to use your AoE abilities here to maximize DPS. So if you have a two-hander, you want to use your Hurricane, Quake, and Cleave abilities. If you're using 2 one-handers, you'll use Flurry. And what I like to do is you have just enough time to put a Bleed on the gray one, and then target the red one. I don't do it here. But you want to be targeting the red one, because what she does is she'll jump to a random location in this room, and then she jumps up in the air and she slams the ceiling down on the ground for a duration. And if you're anywhere besides this little hitbox underneath her, you're going to be taking loads of damage. So if you're always auto-attacking the red one, no matter where she jumps to, you'll automatically run there, and it just saves out on a lot of time and frustration. So during this phase, when the roof's caving down, you have time for maybe one threshold, but you want to make sure that you always come out of this with at least 80 to 85% adrenaline, because you only have about 2 auto attacks worth of time or 2 abilities worth of time before you need to pop Berserk for this next upcoming mechanic. So right now I've popped Berserk and I'm adrenaline building. If you have adrenaline potions, you want to use them. If you have adrenaline potions, use them now. So they jump into the middle here and they charge and attack. while they're charging, they take double increased damage for the duration of their charge. So you want to get in the middle of them and use your AoE abilities, Flurry for one-handers again, and Hurricane Cleave and Quake for two-handers. I don't really utilize that very well here on this first kill. I was a little rusty. But what they do is whenever the yellow bar above their head depletes, they explode, and you'll take 4,000 to 7,000 damage. And there's two ways to prevent this. You can surge away from them into where the fire is around the room, and it won't hit you. Or like I did there, you can use a shield swap for resonance. It won't heal you, but it'll completely mitigate the damage. So after that, they go back into the charge phases, and it's a rinse and repeat for the whole fight until they're dead. What I do want to show you, not this next charge, but the charge after, is that glitch I was talking about. So I was moving out of the way, and he still picked me up. So you want to make sure you move really quick and always 2 squares away just to be safe. My kill times for this first kill that you see now aren't the best. Like I said, I was a little bit rusty getting back into this boss. The rest of the hour worth of kills go a lot smoother. I did this with the Attuned Crystal Halberd, and my kills were only a little bit slower than what you see here. So I'd say for learning the two-handed abilities, it's definitely viable, but if you are actually doing this for profit, you'll probably want to pick up a Dragon Rider Lance if you can't afford a Scythe. So you can probably expect to get kills in roughly the amount of time that I show here with similar gear. You'll probably be able to do it faster after you get used to the boss. Like I said, after the first couple kills here, I really pick it back up again, and things speed up a lot. So I'm gonna zip the video up, and we're gonna see an hour worth of kills. We're gonna take a look at the loot afterwards. So enjoy.
Words fall out of my mouth, they drift to the ground and they don't make a sound. I'll try to sample them back to the place in my head where I feel that I lie. The proper speak that I need to narrate the scene, to tell you these things. The proper place for my thoughts, I know that I'm not, you know that I'm not. So good and transparent,
Alright, so let's take a look at an hour worth of drops for the Twin Furies. We did not get a crest or either of the weapons that would have significantly increased the GP per hour for this boss. When I did this with the Crystal Halberd, I made slightly more than the 2 mil that you see here, so it really depends on the drops that you get. But I can say that with similar gear and experience, you can expect anywhere between 2 and 3 mil per hour on this boss without any significant drops. So that's it. I hope you found it useful and enjoyable, and stay tuned for more bosses because they're coming soon.